Good evening. Welcome to Lockdown Workshop again. Right, where are we? Let's have some lights on. Nice afternoon, evening. Lights are on. Workshop's in a mess. Went out for a ride on Tango this morning and realised I've not put the cadence sensor back on, and I'm missing the mudguardy shit flicker thing that stops it from going in your face, because he's riding along, it comes off the tyres, it goes up and it hits you straight in the face, or it goes spreads up through that gap there, fires up there, and you ride into it, is what really happens. Everything else spot on. Dropper works brilliant. I've even got it nice and mucky. Look, there you go, Wayne, especially for you. Brakes work fine, gears absolutely perfect. Haven't had to touch them in the slightest. Really pleased with how they've gone together. So I'll give it a once over again in about a month's time. I'll get the cadence sensor on it. I've got to put a new strap on, and it's in the bottom of here somewhere, so that can go on later. I'm not showing you what's in here yet. Let's have a look what's going off outside. Can you see that? I've got a bit of a limp cock out there. It's not very well. Poor old Freddy. Come on, up you get, mate. Nobody wants a limp cock. Yes. Go on then, I'll show you. It's back again. It's had a bit of a misfortune. There we go. This is what I like. It's been ridden and it's been abused. It was going all well, but then dropped the actually I don't know where that bit is. Yeah, it fell over and landed on the hanger. And the hangers are sacrificial. It's snapped off. So we've got the derailleur and what's left of the hanger. The other bit of the hanger's missing, and I'm hoping the screws for the hanger are in there. And then in theory, this should be the right hanger to go on there to fix that, or if not, we will make it fit. Looks like I'm going to have to dig out a bit of gear cable, but we've got some kicking around somewhere. In fact, there's a lump there we can recycle, or there's a lump there we can recycle. So there's plenty of gear cable kicking around in here just to make that little bit. Might even have some kicking around. Might even have a pick. There you go, there's a piece there. It's probably already the right size. Yeah, so just need to stick an end on that. We've got some spare ends as well. So we'll sort that one out. We'll see how we go with that then. Right, so let's crack into it. Just got to bust the chain off because they cut the chain down to make it fit, so it's running as a fixie effectively. Need to check the state of the cable, see if we stick another cable in, which I really hope we don't after the fun and games we had with this. But that was the brake cable that was the problem. Or was it the gear cable? No, it was that gear cable, not this gear cable. This gear cable still had its inner in, so I really don't want to do it though, because these SRAM shifters are a pain in the butt. Everything else seems to be going all right, so we'll just crack that off. We'll stick the wheel on, we'll get that derailleur put back up, we'll get it all lined back up. It shouldn't be a big job, to be honest. So we should better get it done in a bit. Let's do that up properly. It's hanging down a bit. So we'll sort that out, and then I will sort this out now. That's the mud catcher that was on it, and it literally just sits there underneath the forks. Tie wraps on. You pay £15 for these, and they are just a flimsy piece of plastic, and this has obviously seen better days. That bit's missing. We've lost a lump off the bottom. That bit's broken and shredded now. So my plan is to recycle. So we're either going to put a clear one on or a frosted one on, and then if it works, I might spray it, or I might not. Might just leave it. I don't really care. It's probably going to look all right, or it's going to look a right mess. Or we go and buy some of that Tango that's in the black plastic bottles, and then I'll cut a new one. So I'll just see if it works first. I just need something temporary on there to keep the crud out of my face. Anyway, what we will do though is we're still in a bit of a mess from putting Tango back together, and I was toying with the idea of doing a rebuild. Oh, I did order the tool. It's upstairs on my desk, so I do now have a ratchet tool for that I can put a wrench on. It came the next day, believe it or not, from Amazon. Right, Okie dokie, let's stick you in and crack on. We're back. Look down there. Right, nearly forgot to do it then. Nearly forgot to set the camera going. Can you see? So that's it. I'm just going to pop that off. Sacrificial link. Keep hold of that and give that back to Jerry. I'll probably give her the chain back as well because the chain's like new. Don't know how many links she had to cut out of it. We'll find out in a minute. Hey, look at that. Right, so let's have a look what comes in the bag. Let me go and get a pen. A knife or a pair of scissors. Oh, a pencil. There you go. Oh, Stanley. I hope it is the right one. That looks about right. Yeah, that looks okay. Good fit. Right. That's I'd call that a result. So when I got in touch with PlanetX, they are local to me, and I've got some contacts on the inside. They were very helpful actually. So they actually suggested that this one uses a standard one. They gave them the number and the supplier, but the supplier of them didn't have them in stock. But once you know the number, it's a standard hanger number that a lot of people use. So once you got the number, then I actually went on Amazon and found it for significantly less. Nearly threw the screw away. When you say you've got two in your hands, there must be one left in the box. It is. That's a little tiny, whiny thing. So these come in from the other side. So the idea is that these is that they are sacrificial. So if you look, there's a thin point there, and the idea is if you knock it, they snap rather than break the frame. So I will check that the frame is aligned and it's not damaged the frame, but it's carbon, so we should be all right. You know, I did just steam into this. What we'll do, liquid thread lock definitely on these. So if you just bear with me while I go and rescue some liquid thread lock. Put them on there. I should have a metal tub for them rather than doing it this way, but the metal tub's still full of things, so we'll put some liquid thread lock mainly over my fingers because that's what normally happens when I get the liquid thread lock out. It seems to be a cue for the liquid thread lock to go everywhere but where I want it. Come on. Probably I left it. Oh, there we go. I was going to say I left the lid off it the other day. So it won't surprise me if he doesn't want to play ball. They're quite small threads, so we just need to make sure we don't cross thread it. And don't actually overdo it until we've got them all in. If you notice, I was picking out a bit of mud from behind it because they are a machined mating finish on them. Still there? Can you see all right? And the last one. I'll take you out and you can have a look at it in a minute. Now the question is, should I put this in its? Should I put this onto the end of the playlist for this bike, or start its own? I think this bike could probably do with its own channel. To be honest, she did say she was thinking about replacing it with another one. I'm like, do you know what? Actually, I think track record on this bike is I'd stick with this one. Right, so this is why I didn't want to tighten them up because this one's not going in very well. Is it going to bite? No, that's not. That's going to cross thread if we don't watch it. We'll just slacken these off a bit. That was my worry about the other bit. I haven't picked up any dust on that now. I'm more bothered about it cross threading, to be honest. There we go, that's it. So all I wanted was just to loosen them two off and then bring them all in together, and then they can set themselves down. They are countersunked, so countersunked. And the reason we liquid thread lock them is because you don't want to over tighten them, because that's a light aluminium finish. So if you over tighten them, it's quite possible you could rip the threads to pieces, and we don't want to rip the threads to pieces. But we've got to get it tight enough so it keeps it's pulled in hard up against the surface. And this is a lump of carbon, effectively, probably with a metal plate in there somewhere for strength. So you kind of have to feel with this one. When you feel the thread, you don't really want to be pushing it. So that's the first bit done. So the second bit is going to be sticking this in. It's got full of crap already. Look at that. One thing I do like about these is they do appear to bowl race all their bits. So tell you what, I might give this a quick clean. Let me bring you back in a minute. Oh, we're back. We got red light. Yeah. Scrub it up, dub time. Looks a bit better. There we go. Job's a good one. That's cleaned up crap off it. A little bit of a rattle, but it'll be fine. We're back. Alright, so just got to pop this off now. Might have been able to do it from the other side. Flipping heck. That's well stuck on. I think it's a reverse thread. I'll stick it in the vise. I don't want to overcook it, to be honest. Oh, dearie me. Right, let's go and test another one of our purchases. I actually bought some soft jaws. I don't think I've ever had a pair of soft jaws other than lumps of aluminium or something that I've used in the past. So I think possibly in this time I don't want to use soft jaws because I need to grip it quite tightly and I don't really want it to move. So we will give that some. Right. So this metal's quite soft, so I should be able to really crank down on the vise on this. Also, it might help me get to that because I was struggling to get the. There we go. The problem was what was left of the hanger was actually winding itself into the back of the thing, so that wasn't brilliant. Right. So you can have a proper look at this now. It's actually failed across the screw line. So the idea is the thin there, so it breaks there rather than breaking in the frame. Let's bring you back over here now. I'm going to have much editing to do today. Just carrying you around. So let's put that in the right place. Actually, I think that was in the right place in the wrong hole. There we go. It was 180 degrees out. Some people say you should liquid thread lock these, but I don't agree with this one. It's quite a big thread, and you saw then it was quite hard to get off. So I would genuinely argue that you don't need to do it for this one. Let's just check it. It winds down what it should do. Coolio. Right, so question is, will this one fit or will it be too short? I suspect that's going to be too short. Yeah. We get to try our newfound technique out for measuring the size of the chains as well. So it was big to big without that, and that should work, he says. Yeah, that needs to be longer. I'm sure I've got plenty of these kicking around though. Exhibit here. So I'm reusing these, but I don't think they were an issue. Just going to find the grinder thing. Yeah, that's causing a bit of an issue. That one, that's why it was taken off. So what we'll do is I'll cut it to size, then I'll pull that off. So I think that's going to have a nice angle on it, there, kind of thing. Right, back to the vise again. So there's a trick for getting these off. If you've ever had a pair, we'll use the soft jaws for these. Oops. Oh, there you want your Muppet. They're quite cool. These. They've got magnets in them. That's going to be quite useful because I'm using that one a lot. Nope, not going to work. No, needs to be the metal. So if you ever, you can pull these off all day and they won't come off. So all it is you just go. There you go, and it's off. And all we want to do is just nip that end off because that's all scabby and rusted. Right, and then we're just going to clean that out. And then what we'll do, as well as belt and braces, we'll wang a bit of dry lube down there just to help it on its way. See, that's reamed out. So if you look at that one, that's pretty scabby. So you see that? Trouble, I can't see how well focusing you are. There we go. Do that quick poke out as well. Right, so that's on. You just need the other end of this one. The same. This is where I always lose one of them. Yeah, that one comes straight off. So I'll shove that on as well. Just make sure that hole's the right size too. And that one. Then we'll get some dry lube. I can find it. Nearly squirted you in the eye then, didn't I? Nope, steady on. Right. I shouldn't be using these for cutting cable ties, but they have a nice effect that they can't actually damage the frame. So just check this isn't damaged. Done a real good field repair there, actually. Quite impressed with that. Normally you just find it wound around there in a right state. So it's whether or not there's any kinks. This is where I find out I've cut this too long, all that kind of stuff. It's whether or not I can get them threads back in on there enough for it to go in here without it rucking up. Come on, you can do it. You know you want to. Sometimes you can get these to, with a bit of manipulation, actually when you pull them straight it flattens them back out again. So it takes some of the bulging out of them. I think that's going to go. All I'm bothered about is it free moving once it comes out the other end? And if it comes out the other end, well, that feels like it's come out the other end. Yeah, that's fine. It's moving easily. It's only snagging on the bent bits down there. So all we've got to do now is just see if it's still the right size. That's it. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be still long enough. So wind that back down. Oh yes, that's the one. We've got to remember to put it over that stupid thing, haven't we? So we don't spend a significant amount of time trying to work out why it doesn't work. Right, so that goes on there like that. That should go either side of... Nope. Okay, so it goes that way around. Interesting. I'd have thought it would have gone the other way around. I suppose it makes it easier to fit, sort of. So I'll let go of that and it's just going to pop out. And the question is this a... Right, it is. Right. Loads of play on the adjuster, so I'm not that bothered if I don't get it accurately sorted out. We can take the play back up. Seems to be moving okay. That's a bit slack. That's not going to help. Why don't you tell me that? That wasn't quite in. It was sitting up. But that actually feels a bit. I think it could possibly do with if that's broken. No, it can't have broken. You might want pinching together that. Got some pinchers in here. Anyway, right, let's slacken that off then and pull it tight again. I've got some adjustment. I ain't got that much adjustment out of it. Just wind it back in again. That looks about it. So let's stick the wheel on. Oh, it's one of those, is it? Right, stick the chain on. See how long this one lasts. Where did I put my knife down? Oh, I packed it up. I must have packed it away. Oh, it's there. Found it. Da, da, da. Useful instructions for fitting chain. Go to website. any direction of travel. Doesn't look like it. SRAM, 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 SRAM. Turn it round. What's this on the other side? No, same on both sides, so we're all right with that. So, same trick as last time. I did think I cut it one link or two links too short last time on the last one I did this trick on. I did it on Tango, but in reality, I think it was pretty much spot on. So. Using the funny links, so that's those. So I think we add one on, so that's where those two come together. That's half a link out, so actually that's the closest we can get it. Would be to there, but we want to take it one further, which would be to there. So I think we just need to take the one link out. But we'll see. If it's too long, we will know. Do you know what? I could have put money on that. Yeah, all the sawdust. We'll just take the one link off. I think I might have taken two off last time. But I might still have the chain, the original chain that came off it up there. But there's no guarantee that they've done it right either. So I think this, because it's got a thingy link on, I think we're going to be one link. We're going to need to take another full link out of this one, but we'll see how we go. No! Depressingly stupid chain. It's one of those evenings. Just quit and go to bed. No! So we just, I think we could probably take another link out of there, but we'll feed it round the dual arrailer and see what we get. So let's drop it down into its little. Fiddly, fiddly, fiddly. There's an easy way of doing that. Will somebody please tell me, because it gets on my nerves. Right, catch up. Do it from the top this time. I did it from the bottom last time. It made it a lot harder. So, do you know what? That doesn't look a million miles away. I think it probably could do with another link out. So if we put the thing in there, we're almost there. It would be about there. So if we take it back another, so instead of being in that one, it would be in that one there. Right, that is probably closer, I'll be honest. Because if you remember last time, how I used to do it was when the bike's level, what you're looking for is that's almost level. That to there is almost level in a line, and that's pretty close. And that's with another link taken out. So it would have had two links out. Unfortunately, I can't find 2 links kicking around on the floor to say, oh look, they were the 2 links I took out of it last time. That's assuming I had the same length, because they do sell chains in separate lengths. I could try and wangle it up onto the top and see how far out it is. I'm more bothered about how far out it is when it drops onto the little ring on the front, to be honest. Yeah, that's just dropped back a little bit. Actually, that wasn't, yeah. No, that's, I think it definitely needs the extra link taken out. You'll be able to tell when I drop it down onto here. Yeah, I think if we put it back to where it was, I think that's going to be too far across. So if we drop it onto another, drop it onto that one, which is effectively where I had it measured to, that's going to make it. Yeah, that's too far back. It's almost going to be rubbing on itself. So we'll just wind it right the way back, and then chuck it all the way back over. Put that up there. And we'll see if we can whiz it up a bit. That's interesting. Now, is that because it won't go any further, or? I think that's hitting the stops. Right, so it looks like it's slightly, I suspect that had a, well, if you remember when I put it together last time, I had a theory that the derailleur had taken a bit of a knock. I think we put the new hanger on, and the derailleur is now twisted slightly down, so it was adjusted up before, so it's, right. Oh, wrong one. No, it wasn't. It was the right one. It's just not playing ball. Trying to adjust the gears while I'm still got the chain in pieces is not my cleverest move. There we go. We're up now. Right, now that's hitting the stops so much further as that one. So that does want to go wound up a bit more. Right. Just wind that back a bit so we don't get the. It's not going to disappear into the chain. you want a little bit, you don't want to completely look out. So there's a little bit of movement there, so you can push it a bit further if you need to. How to set gears without even the chain connected. Come on. This is back to the old problem we had on the other one, where it just doesn't seem to want to. You change the gear and nothing happens. Oh, that is in the bottom now. Oops. Mashed my hat. Right, so let's take it back up again. Oh no! Fail. Oh! Right, so while I'm here, I might as well just take this off because I'm a right old faff here. So, I need to take that one out. Like I said, I'm trying to actually tune the gears while I've not even done the cables up. So, let's wang it back. Don't need that for that. Right, direction of travel is that way. So that wants to go on the back, no on the front, no that way around. So direction of travel would be that way. So direction of travel is that way. Oh, come on. I'm not having much luck today. Drop it on. Make life a little bit easier. I've lost my chain spreader. I put it away. Just to be awkward, I've decided to do it right next to the crank arm that's now pushing my fingers out of the way. That's it. Right, so that's up. Come on. Yeah, let's get in there. picture is looking now. It's probably better. Drop it down a bit. Sometimes just a couple of turns make a massive amount of difference, especially when it's, there you go. Pick up. There we go, that's perfect. Cool. That, I think, is that. Quite pleased with that. She's all gone back together again. That brake is ticking a bit. I might start for that one, I think. Or that's it. That's knocked off a bit. Oh, I've got a bit of pickup. Yeah, it was still adjusted too high. Try that. No, we'll go back up. We'll fix the brake problem anyway. There you go. All good. Right, we'll call that done, I think. Right, we'll have one more quick up and down. Boom, mended. Right, let's move with us. Sorry, we've parked the CX over there out of the way now. I'm just doing the usual. I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes hunting for a Sharpie. Oh, found it. Cool. Right. let's do this one. Now this might be a bit too flimsy, but I can't honestly. That feels quite stiff. This one's quite flimsy. So whoops, looking in the right place. We'll see how we go. Oh, that smells nice. Do I want a nose to stick out that way? Well, that works quite well with that. So we stick that there. What we'll do is we'll draw around it. So this is the shit deflector off the front of the on one. I can't remember where I got these from. I suspect I got them for Chain Reaction. And no, I'm not being sponsored by Chain Reaction. Possibly off eBay. I think this one, they were quite expensive. I used to have one of them things that's like a neoprene thing that velcros round your front stay, but I haven't got that anymore. Right, so I'm going to have to freelance this bit in a bit. So like I said, I think we lost a bit of this. That looks about right. Yep. We'll put some dots in. It's not when we need the holes for the you could use a hole punch for that. See, actually it fits quite nicely. I've just got a feeling that this is going to be a bit too flimsy. So we might have to do the same again on the pop bottle, which this is polycarbonate. So that's got a bit more rigidity to it, shall we say? Shall we say? Shall we say? Oh, we've got all la-di-da. The only thing I'm limited to is I can't get as much of a nose on this, and I'm almost off the back with that one. So we'll do the same thing. We might as well mark them both out at the same time, and then cut whichever one I decide, and use whichever one I decide fits best. Just got to be careful around here because this bit's pretty mullered as well. Like I said, it doesn't need to be pretty. Nobody really looks at it. I'm thinking a clear one might actually be better than the opaque one as well. Let's put some dots in there so we can use those as locating holes, which is what I should have done last time. I'm going to put one set of holes in on the other one as well. Yeah, I should have another set of holes. I'll have to come back and fit them afterwards. Yeah, just tip pop down my front. Right. Yeah, this possibly wasn't the best bottle, but it's the only one I've got. Typical Jacob's not here, and I haven't got a recycle bin full of empty Coke bottles to go at, which is what I'd normally have. So let's just, if we say we want to be aiming for that bit there, that's about the same length as we had on the other one. Just sketch it in. I'll use that line actually as a guide to make sure I get it parallel. And then all we've got to do is just smarten that bit in. I might have done that one better than the other one now. Just bringing two tangents together with a curve in between them. See what that looks like. Oh, yeah, we've got to put the other dots on this, haven't we? Dot, dot. Oh, see, they've moved, haven't they? There we go. Creaky door in here. You're still there? Oh, but you're bored and good off. Yeah, now I haven't cut up a pop bottle since I was a kid. I seem to remember there was you were better off leaving the lid on. I'm not sure that's going to work anyway, so we'll put that around. Give us an in with the. Right. I think this will be a better idea actually, is to rough it. get it out of the main bottle shape, and then I can argue the toss with it in a minute. No, it's going worse. Right, where's the... Oh, I've got sticky fingers now. Right, so that actually feels quite decent. Somewhere I had a pair of scissors. Well, more shears than scissors, which I thought were in here, but obviously are not. Ah, could be useful over there. Why didn't you tell me? You are useless. Right, which way should we attack this? Let's go up here. So actually, the black line's on the outside, so I can go to the inside of the black line if I want. God, that stinks of fake pineapple. Oh, horrible. I'll go line blind now. This is where we discover that fake lilt removes white permanent marker. There you go. I stopped talking, didn't I? Did you think the mute had gone on? Oh, it looks okay. Well, see what it looks like compared to the original. So we get shit all over it. It's alright, that, doesn't it? What I could do with is something to punch those holes out rather than trying to drill them out. So I think I'll probably make a mess of them if I tried to drill them out. Oops, missed a bit. I missed any more like that. Oh, there's one there as well. Right, I'll just cut you there because I think I need to find something I'm going to hack them out. Let's have a play with this. I just had an idea. We might be able to do this if we do it under some wood. Oh, that drill bit's bent. It's not bad. It'll do. It'll do for what we're trying to do with it. I'm just trying to get a crisp hole so that the tie wrap doesn't rip through it. And if I just, ideally I'd punch it out, but I haven't got anything. I was hoping I'd have a little bit of tube or something I could put a sharp edge on it and use it as a punch. Which I probably have, I just can't think of anything at the moment. There's probably something in the motorbike bits. Maybe a bit of brass piping or something. Right, and hopefully that when they're pulled onto the things, I don't think putting it in upside down, but it's got a natural curve to it anyway. So we'll go stick that on the bike. Right, I need some tie wraps. Old bag out, so I'm not hoping yet another new bag. No, they're too long. They're way too long. They're way too long. Oh, what about these? They look a possibility. Trouble is, I think they have to go. No, too short. Why don't I just get them all out? I want some finished ones that aren't too long. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to be these. They'll have to do it. I know they'll go around there. Yep. But they might just be a bit too big on there. But do you know what? I don't care. Because it's just a practice run now then. How do I want to do this? I think that'll be fine. The list. So what we'll do is, I seem to remember if you just zip it up gently first. Plus I should have put these in before. It would have been very easy to do it that way instead of the way I'm now doing it. Nope, come on Toller, get a grip. And there we go. Boom. And on to the back as well. We're both going in the same direction. That's a good one. Get the orbits back. Right, so to go there. That's looking alright, isn't it? like I said, I think when you buy these, they're about 15 quid. You know what? That's not bad. I'm quite impressed with that. Just needs a little bit of fettling. So we'll twist that out a bit, and then you know what? I think that looks pretty good. All right, I'll take that. Pick you up on that, let you have a look at that. Okay, I could have picked a better bit with that, but as a prototype, I think that's all right. That it's now at its length it should be again, because it had ended up getting knocked off to about there. So I think that's all right. It'll do what it's supposed to do. So what it does is the water comes up off your tyre, and it's constantly arcing round. So some of it's going up there, some of it's going up there, some of it goes through there, some of it goes straight through that hole, straight up there, and then you ride into it and it goes straight in your face. But it seems to be that's where most of it goes. It's just like a steady jet that goes up and straight into your face. So we'll just nip all these off, and then I think that's all right. That we'll call that a win. So the only thing I've got to do now is just drop the cadence sensor back onto there. Now I've got some spare. I had a spare. It was in here, but I've got a funny feeling that this is quite big. So this is designed for the next size up. These are the smaller ones. Oh, the sticker's coming off. These are in a race state. These. Might get away with it. I do think it's probably too big. It goes to the inside toller. It is actually easier to put them on the outside and then feed them through, or to put it on lower down and slide them up. Because they can be on these, they're slightly hollow behind. On the Ultigras, they're not. It's like that, whereas this is like that. So it's got a recess in the back of it. Whereas the Ultigra is actually two pieces of metal bonded together to form a hollow tube, whereas these are a cast solid lump. Because they have had some problems, I gather, with them failing and cracking and coming apart. Not that apparently they will admit that there's a problem with them cracking and coming apart. If you remember, I was a bit worried that mine might be doing that. Right, I'd call that in. I don't want to move it any further because you can see my boots catching there. But if I put it any further, I can put it a little bit further down. If I put it any further down, it's gonna be loose because this isn't tight. And I've had my money's worth out of these, but I'd rather not replace them. So I'm quite pleased with that. Right, so that's that done. So Tango's finished. I don't think there's anything else I forgot to do. I tested everything else. So this morning, we are going to have a play this weekend if I get a chance. We're going to have a just see what it said there. Disc only, and it'll say something about not tubeless. If I give you a clue, these tyres I think definitely say tubed tyres, not suitable for tubeless. Schwibble wibble. Right. Tough Toms and oh, what's gone off there? It's a bit rubbish, isn't it? The stickers. Well, not stickers. It must be a bit of moulding. Tough Toms, and I think these are Rapid Robs here. So apparently the smart money at the time was saying Rapid Robs on the back, which has got quite a knobbly profile, and then Rapid and Tough Toms on the front, which, or the theory being it'll stop your front end from washing out, which I had a few problems with the Vittoras I had on before. I had problems with the back end spinning out, so that's lack of traction down there because of the pressures I was having to run them at. Because it says 26 to 54 psi, and I was running them at 54 psi because they were just too squishy. Otherwise, they were getting pinch flats. And on the front, every time I went around the corner, it was just front end was just crashing out on it. Anyway, right. So we've sorted Cat out, or CX, or the bike from hell, which She's looking all right. I'm not going to clean it or wipe it down. She's fine. Not sure what. I suspect somebody's dripped some gels on her there. She's good. She'll live another day again. Hey, I like it when I keep putting them back together. It's cool. So I'm pleased that went well, because I didn't order that part. I did the research. I told Jerry to which bit she wanted, and she sorted it out. Chains on, jobs are good, and I will give her back the split links so she can keep them as spares. And I will give her the old chain. I'll put it back in this box for her before I forget and lose it. So that can go in there. Can't remember where I chucked the chain now. It's here. She can have that back, and then that's it. So anyway, we're done for tonight. That was a relatively straightforward one. No massive amount of series. I've still got loads of stuff to do in here. I've got to clear this a lot out, because I am going to clear the workshop. So if anybody wants to buy any of this stuff, it will be up for sale. Hit me up for it. Welder's not going, pillar drill's not going, the rest of it's going. So bandsaw, there's a thickness of planer there. That's a heavy duty Axminster one. There is a table saw there with a Bessemer edge on it. There's a mortise and tenon machine over there. There's a behind there is a router table with a router. What else have we got? That's not going. There's a few other bits and bobs in there as well. There's a whole load of framing and nail guns up there. That's a heavy duty sort of, that'll do 8-inch frame nails up there. There's a biscuit cutter. There's all sorts, basically. There's enough. Chop saw I'll probably keep, to be honest. I was debating whether to keep the bandsaw because you can cut steel with it, but I'll be honest, most of the time I just get the grinder on it. So the bandsaw's going to go, and I've got tons of blades and shit with that. Yeah, all needs to go because I need to clear this out. This is going to become a consulting room, he says. And it'll all be nicely finished with skylights and possibly bifold doors and underfloor heating and a shower and a kitchen area. And then I can use it as an office and a consulting room. I will probably still do bike fits in here. I'll probably still do some bike maintenance in here for the, quick tune-ups and things, but anything that's really shitty. So that I would have done in here. That rebuild I did of that, I wouldn't do in here. That would be up at the other workshop I'm fitting out at the moment, which is where we're going to move all this stuff to. Anyway, right. So please like and subscribe. I am trying to build the site up a bit. And I've got another site on there as well for the coaching side of it. I'm not running any of these as businesses. Everything I do is at volunteer, so all the triathlon coaching I do, I don't get paid for that. I do it as volunteers at the moment. All these bikes I fit, I do not get paid for them. I'm storing people's bikes and I don't get paid for it. I just do it because I'm helping people out, and sometimes people give me wine, possibly. So with that, I will say good night, and jobs are good 'un.